Hello yarn friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful bag. If you have not already hit the notification bell, please do that as well, and the subscribe button. That really does help my channel out. So let's go ahead and take a look at the materials needed for this lovely Picot stitch mesh bag. The materials I am using is this Tenna yarn. I did get this from Hobium. It is a Egyptian cotton polyester blend yarn. It is a 3-weight, so any 3-weight yarn will work for this project. There is up to 186 yards in a ball, and I used just roughly about 1. You will also need a pair of scissors. You will need some stitch markers, and I will be using a 4.25 millimeter crochet hook. So let's go ahead and get jumped into this video and get started. To begin, I will be starting with a magic loop or a magic ring. If you do not know how to do this, go ahead and you can chain up 3 or chain up 4 and connect that way. But we do want to go ahead and do this, chain up 2. And we're going to work 12 double crochets into this ring. So you just yarn over, go into the loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So go ahead and make 12 double crochets, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so here I have done my 12 double crochets, and I went ahead and pulled that ring tight. Now, something I do want to mention is our chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So we are simply going to do a double crochet onto the first double crochet that we made. Again, not onto that chain 2. And just make sure that we kind of pull this tight to close that ring up. Go ahead and grab your stitch marker and put that right there in that first stitch. So now we are going to put another double crochet back into that same stitch, and we are going to continue to increase on this row, putting 2 double crochets into every stitch. So go ahead and do that for round 2, just 2 double crochets into every single stitch, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so moving on to row 3, we are simply going to put 1 double crochet into that first stitch and put our marker back. So we will be increasing in every second stitch. So here in the second stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Oops. Let me go ahead and do that again. Into the second stitch, we will simply work 2 double crochets, and then into the following stitch we will work 1 double crochet into this next stitch, and then we'll work 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. So continue to do this all the way around. I'll meet you back here for the next row. Okay, so moving on to row 4, this will also be an increase row. So into the first stitch we will do 1 double crochet, into the second stitch we will do 1 double crochet, and into the third stitch we will do 2 double crochets. So continue to do that around, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets into the third, and I will meet you back here for row 5. Okay, so moving on to row 6, and this is going to be our final increase row, and we want to increase into the 5th stitch. So do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, into the 3rd stitch, 4th, and into the 5th we will do 2 double crochets into that stitch. So continue that around, and I will meet you back here. Okay guys, so at the end of the row we are just about 5 inches, so this is going to be the very bottom part of our bag. So now we're going to go ahead and work the mesh part, and now I'm going to start the rows over again. So we're going to start it off with row 1 of the mesh, so let's go ahead and get into that. So for this next part, what we want to do is single crochet into that space where we had our stitch marker, Now what we want to do is go ahead and chain up 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so here is our 5 stitches. Now not into the first stitch, but into the second stitch from our hook right here. We are going to insert our hook, pull up a loop. We're going to be working a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So go ahead, work your single crochet. Now you are going to chain up 3 more times. And into that same space where you just worked that single crochet, we are going to work another single crochet. So this is going to make our picot stitch. So now after we single crochet back in there, we want to chain up 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go look back into our work. So this is where we just started working out of. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into that 4th stitch, we're going to go ahead and make a single crochet. So what we just did is we chained up 5, and 2 of those chains we used. One was a turning chain and one we worked into, and then we made our chain of 3, our picot, and we chained 3 again and single crocheted. So now we want to continue this. So go ahead and chain up 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not into the first chain, but into the second chain from the hook. We're going to work a single crochet, chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now back into that same space where we worked our single crochet, we're going to insert our hook and make another single crochet. Okay, just like that, just as we did on this side. Now we want to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Now we are going to skip 3 stitches, so not the one that we were just working into, but 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip those, and we are going to single crochet into the 4th chain from our hook, just like that. So we are going to repeat this all the way around for row 1 of the picot stitch. So I'm going to show that to you one more time, and if you need to see how to do this pattern again for row 1, go ahead and rewind this video to the beginning of row 1 of the mesh. So go ahead and chain up 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not into that first chain, but into the second chain, we're going to work a single crochet, chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and work a single crochet, a single crochet back into that same space, just like that. Now we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. Pull up some more yarn here. Skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, and into that 4th stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. So you will continue to do that. So chain up 5 and into the second stitch from the hook, make a single crochet, chain up 3, make another single crochet, chain 3, and then in the 4th chain from the hook, make a single crochet. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here at the beginning of our row. Okay guys, so this is what it's looking like after we get through with row 1 of our mesh. So moving on to row 2 of the mesh, we are going to chain up 5 after we do our last picot, the single crochet right here. So chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now into the top of this picot, this chain 3 space that we made, we are going to do a single crochet, just like that. So now what we want to do is grab our stitch marker and put that into that chain 5, because this is going to mark the beginning of our row for row 2. So now that we did our single crochet right here, we are going to chain up 3, 2, and 3. We are going to single crochet back into that space. So we're working into the previous chain 3 space, just like that. Now we are going to chain up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And into the next, right here, this little chain 3 space that we have, we are going to make a single crochet. Okay, you see that, this chain 3 space, single crochet, chain up 3, and single crochet back into that same space. Now chain up 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and into the next chain 3 space, make a single crochet, chain 3, 2, and 3, and single crochet back into that same space. So we are going to repeat this around for row 2. Now round 3 of this mesh is going to be different, and round 3 will be the repeat to this pattern. So go ahead and continue to do this for row 2. If you get confused, go ahead, rewind this video back to the beginning of row 2 and continue this pattern all the way around, and I will meet you back at our stitch marker. Okay friends, so here I have gone ahead and worked the second row of mesh for this bag. So now I have done my chain of 5. So going on to row 3, what we want to do is actually single crochet into this first chain 5 space. Now we're going to chain up 3, single crochet back into that space. Now we're going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are going to skip the previous chain 3, this picot space. We're going to skip that completely. And we're just going to simply single crochet into the next chain 5 space, chain up 3, and single crochet back into that space. So now what we want to do to move up our stitch marker is we want to put that into the chain 3 space where we had the chain 5. So we're just going to go ahead and move that up to that picot stitch. So now that we have done that, we are going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are going to skip this stitch right here, and we are going to single crochet into the next chain 5 space. We're going to chain up 3, single crochet back into that chain 5 space, and now we are going to chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be the repeat for the pattern. So we're going to single crochet into the previous chain 5 space, chain up 3, single crochet back into that chain 5 space, and then we are going to chain up 5. So we are going to go ahead and continue this around. We are going to completely skip this chain 3 space and only working into the chain 5s. So go ahead and do that until you come back to your stitch marker right here where your picot stitch is. And I will show you the next round, and then I will tell you how many rows of the mesh we will be working. Okay, so here I am. Here's my stitch marker in this picot stitch, and here's the last picot stitch of the round 3. So moving on and continuing, we want to continue to work into the chain 5 spaces. So we do not want to work where our stitch marker is. So ending this stitch, we are going to do the chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And skipping over where our stitch marker is, we're going to work a single crochet into that chain 5. So go ahead and grab your stitch marker, and we're going to move that up and put it into the chain 5 space. Now as we continue, one row, this will be in a chain 5 space. When we come back to the next row, we will be working a picot stitch right here, so then we will continue to move our stitch marker up as we go. So now that we are here and we've single crocheted, we're going to chain up 3 just as we have been doing. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet back into that chain 5 space, chain up 5, go into the next chain 5 space and make a single crochet, and go ahead and make your picot stitch. So we're going to continue to do this all the way around so we will continue to do this for a total of 22 mesh rows, or as many rows that you feel is enough for your bag. Remember, this will stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and work a total of 22 rows, and I will meet you guys back here. Okay guys, so this is what it's looking like after you do your rows. If you want it to be longer, go ahead and do more rows. Just keep in mind this will stretch quite a bit. So here I am back at my stitch marker. Now what we want to do is go ahead and kind of close this up. So right here I have my Picot stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 single crochet into that stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and move up my stitch marker just like that. Now into the chain 5 space, I'm going to make 4 single crochets. So there's 2, 3, and 4. Now into this space right here, the chain 3 space, we're going to make 1 single crochet. So then into the chain 5 space, we are going to make 4 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, and we are just going to continue to repeat this all the way around. So into the chain 3 space, you are only making 1 single crochet, and into the chain 5 space, you will make 4 single crochets. So go ahead and do that all the way back round to your stitch marker, and I will meet you back here. Okay guys, so here I am back at my stitch marker, and now we are simply going to do another 4 rows of simply 1 single crochet into every single stitch, and I will meet you back here. So do your 4 rows, come back to this video, go ahead, pause it, and I will see you here. Okay, you guys, so here I am back at the beginning of the row, and I have a total of 5 rows of single crochet if you count that first stitch. So go ahead and pull up a little bit of a loop and grab your other stitch markers. So if you are following along with my size, count 20 stitches, place a marker, 20 more stitches, place a marker, another 20 stitches, place a marker. So we will have a total of 4 markers here. So this is just going to mark where we are going to work our handle. So we want to go ahead and work into that first single crochet. And now go ahead and chain up 48 stitches if you are following along with me. If you are wanting to do a longer handle, just go ahead and make more chains. But if you're following along with me, go ahead and make 48 chains. Be very careful not to twist your chain, because we will be attaching to the other side here. Okay, so now that you have your chain, you just want to go ahead where you have the next stitch marker and join with a slip stitch. Oops. Right here with a slip stitch. Okay, so once we make that slip stitch to attach, we also want to slip stitch into the very next stitch as well. And this is going to kind of help close it up on the side. It's going to be a little bit tight. Okay, so once we attach, we want to make another slip stitch into the stitch directly next to that. So now we simply want to turn our work and knot into this first stitch here. You see right there, we want to go ahead and work a single crochet into the first bit of chain. It is going to be a little bit difficult to get in there, but there you go. You see that first bit of chain? And then we are simply going to work a single crochet all the way back across our chain until we get to the other side. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you guys back here and we will move on to the next part of this pattern. Oops, catchy yarn here. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Okay guys, so I have made it all the way back across the chain, and now I'm going to slip stitch one more time right here. And now we want to chain up one, turn our work. And now we are simply going to do one more row of single crochet back along our handle. So this is relatively easy row. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here. Okay, so now at this point, if you wanted a thicker strap, you can continue to do rows, or you can go ahead and make a slip stitch where we began our bag, and then I like to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then go ahead, make a knot. Oops, there we go. Sorry guys. Go ahead, make a knot, leave quite a bit of yarn for sewing in your ends. Pull that through, and then now we can take out the stitch markers where we were working, and let's go ahead and I'll show you how to attach to make the second sleeve. I'm sorry guys, you said the second, I said the second sleeve. I meant we are going to go make the second handle. So we are going to make a slip knot and put that in like that and pull it through, chain up one to make sure that that's nice and secure, kind of pull it down a little bit. So the same thing, so we still have two more stitch markers right here, and we're going to go ahead and skip over these stitches on the opposite side of where we were working. So just like on the other side, we're going to go ahead and chain up 48 and do the same exact thing for this handle as you did for the other one. Go ahead, do that, and I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, you guys, and there you have it. That's what your market bag looks like when it is all done. In both handles, I went ahead and sewed in all the ends, but it just gives you this really, really beautiful mesh in there. If you are using the same yarn as me, you do get this really beautiful shimmer to it. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Give me a comment down below. It really helps my channel, and it does support my channel. If you have not yet done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me today.